You guys remember what we talked about the other day? The horrific story of Yandere Simulator. It's some weird kind of Japanese style game. Where it's bizarre. It's it's bizarre. uh, but I think the premise of the game is that you play as some kind of like, I think Yandere is a style in Japanese culture where someone is like super obsessed with somebody else. I think that style was made for like lonely men who wish that women were so obsessed with them that they didn't have to ask them out, which I kind of understand. Because why do I always got to ask the girl out? You ask me out, punk. Anyway, I'm married, so but whatever. Anyway, turned out that this guy that made this Yandere simulator was kind of a weirdo. It starts with smaller things, like for instance, he did a thing in the game where he would go up. He wanted to implement something where you took to look at your inventory, you take your skirt off and you'd see, your panties and weird stuff like that. And this is a high schooler, so obviously additionally weird. And things like you'd be able to take pictures of other girls' panties and stuff. Really weird stuff. What I thought was so funny about those allegations or criticisms is, why are you criticizing that? And I'm not saying you shouldn't, but what I'm saying is, if you were a fan of this Yandere simulator, that's what this is. Like, that's what this kind of weird anime stuff is. It is like inappropriate. Like Master Roshi used to try to hit on like Bulma. What was she, 13? You know what I mean? Like, there's something very weird about anime. That's the weird. So it's like, oh, whoa, this is really inappropriate. It's like, yeah, you should have known that coming on to the support of this game. But anyway, he kept getting more backlash, and part of it was that he was taking so long to release the game. Reasonable backlash. Part of it, he was like talking weirdly to a 16-year-old girl. We went through that in the video. If you want to take a look at that, you can go. You can go watch the video yourself. It's towards the later half of it. That's about that. So the guy's kind of a creep. I'm not really surprised, at all. I don't know why you guys are surprised. Definitely inappropriate and wrong, but I mean, we're literally talking about somebody obsessed with Yandere anime stuff. Like, that's the biggest red flag I've ever seen. Anyway, he responded because he's kind of upset, I guess, based off of all the criticism he's getting, because this is right now, a lot of people are talking about this. Yeah, dude, Roshi was sus as hell. High schoolers can be 18, 19. Very rare that a high schooler is 19. Most of the time, high schoolers are under 18. He said that it was in a magical world where all the high schoolers were 18. So he was. It's basically like the girl that looks 7, but she's a 1,000-year-old vampire dragon witch. It's weird. Just stop. Okay, it's a little weird. Don't do that. Don't defend that. Don't do that. What do you mean? How old? Hold on. How old was Bulma in Dragon Ball? Bro, she was 16. Oh, really? No way. Okay, she was 16. She looks younger. Either way, Roshi's like 90. Okay, so stop. Still weird. It's very kind of disgusting and gross. Anyway, he responded because he's having a hard time. So let's see what we got here. This was posted on October 1st on his official Yandere Simulator development vlog, which has been going on for a long time. Okay, let's get it going. How is this game not done yet? It's so simple. I've been exhibiting horribly... Oh, I gotta zoom in. Horribly self-destructive behavior on a regular basis for a long time now. Same. As a result of the many conversations I've had over the past few days, I think I can pinpoint the cause. It's probably because he's lonely. I know that sounds weird. It doesn't justify his bad behavior. But he has no social interactions, no real friends, it seems like he doesn't have a super close to his family. Who's going to keep you in line with the weird shit you do? It's going to be the people around you. He's sitting there looking on, fucking Yandere anime forums all day. Like, what do you think he's looking at? That's horrible stuff that's getting blasted into his face. My downward spiral is a result of constantly making incredibly unwise life choices that have caused my mental health to deteriorate massively over time. It didn't hit me until recently just how bad things had gotten. Haven't left the house since July 2019. No real life acquaintances. 16 plus hours on the computer every day. No vacations in half a decade. Prioritizing work above my physical health. Bro, this guy's not really doing work. He's probably sitting there. You got a real life Samus Aran doll. He's probably hitting that thing. I mean, did you guys not see that? There's a Papa Got Short about it. It's weird. Okay, look.
He also used his Patreon funds to commission a realistic style that he could dress up like Samus from Metroid.
So relatable. It truly is relatable. But, Jesus Christ. It shouldn't be any. He's probably sitting there, you know, spanking too much to actually get his work done. You know? What is Sunadra? Dude, I'm tired of these words. It shouldn't be any surprise whatsoever that when you allow both your body and mind to completely waste away, you dissolve into a mistake machine. Person that is capable of nothing but bad decisions, who exists solely to cause problems for others. I feel like, listen, this is like a real thing that I heard of. Okay. There is, my understanding is there's like this story, and maybe it's not real, but I'm pretty sure it is, of this guy whose job was, he worked for like the FBI or some kind of like government institution, and his job was to go after child predators. And all day he would see pictures of like kids because like he had to look at it, and then he ended up being conditioned to find those attractive. What a horrible thing to happen. And it's like, I feel like that's what's happening here. When you look at fucking weird high school girl shit all day and their panties and this, and that's what the media you're consuming, and like you're looking at anime that's like, oh, look at this sexualized like fucking teenage girl. What do you think is going to happen? It's just going to wear you down, and you're going to start to think that's appropriate. That's why I'm saying ban all anime. Ban all of it. Every bit of anime. All right? All of it. Or make it so that all of them are censored to the point where they look like Minecraft characters if they're under 18. Boom. Solve the problem. I'm just saying, there's something about constantly consuming weird shit like that that's going to fuck up your mind, dude. Like for me, for instance, all I used to look at as a kid was like Dexter's mom, Danny Phantom's mom, Clarence's mom. Now all I like are fat ass moms. But that's good. That's a good thing. That's what's supposed to happen, okay? That's what's supposed to happen, in my opinion, at least. So anyways, since the last blog post, a lot of people have reached out to me. Same advice. See a therapist. It's probably a good idea. Get hobbies that don't involve a computer on TV screen. True. Like showering is a good hobby. Step away from the game development for a few months. It seems like he's been doing that. All of it can be summarized as start making healthy life choices that will turn you into a more normal human being. And I honestly can't argue with that. True. This might sound like a really random time to launch into an anecdote, but I'd like to mention something really quick. Recently, someone messaged me to tell me something. A few years ago, when his girlfriend was on the verge of self-unaliving, we'll say there, she sent me a fan mail. I responded to her to thank her for her kind words. Apparently, this cheered her up so much that she stopped thinking about taking her own life. She's still alive today. He just wanted to tell me, thank you for saving my girlfriend's life. Okay. I keep thinking about that story and other stories like it. Times when someone reached out to me to let me know I cured their depression. Bro, what did you cure how did you cure this girl's depression? This doesn't even make sense. Like, already speaking, when somebody brings up like, oh, this person, was okay, listen. Sorry. I'm rambling. When I hear anybody talk about how someone reached out to them, a content creator, when I hear any content creator say somebody reached out to me and told me I saved their life, and that makes you feel important, understand that the 99.999% of the time, this content creator isn't doing anything that actually saves lives. That person was just so lost, anything that they would have found would have, quote unquote, saved their life. I see people saying this all the time. Okay, the guy who made a game about high school panties did not save some girl's life. That did not happen. Okay, I don't know if this story is real or if he made this up, but it's psychotic. This is insane. This is just not real. This is not a real thing that happened. Stop pretending that this is real. Okay. Those stories make me feel like I have the potential to affect the world in a positive way, but that's only if I stop making such dumb decisions all the time. And I can only stop making dumb decisions if I get healthy. And the only way to get healthy is to start making healthier life choices. Have a carrot. Have a carrot, you know? If I want to do more good than harm to the world, I have to get my head straight. That might involve spending less time at the PC, less time on the internet, and less time developing the game. Guy's always looking for an excuse not to finish this goddamn game. It's probably good that he doesn't finish this game. Let's be real. A lot of people have been asking me if the recent controversy will cause me to stop developing the game or give the game away to another developer. Apparently he tried to give it to another developer or work on it with them, but he was such a baby about it. It was like a really good developer too. I forget which one. I'm not ready to answer those questions. I would need to do a tremendous amount of thinking before I can make any monumental decision like that. I really enjoy working on Yandere Simulator. You know what? He probably does work on this game a lot, but he's probably gets like starts jerking off when he sees like the panties of the girls like a creep, and then he can't finish. You know? I don't know. The game's not finished, dude. That's crazy. If I didn't, then I wouldn't be willing to do it continuously for 9 years. The thought of you know what? Maybe it does take a long time to make because it's a game by itself. It was tiny built. What game did they make? It was like a pretty big game. Maybe because making a game by itself is probably rather difficult. I mean, usually you have a team. I remember I used to be in like a literal game and web design class, and I had this teacher named Michael, a really cool guy, and I don't think that anyway, he was a really great teacher. And there was one student in the class like, yeah, I want to make a game by myself. And he was like, well, it's kind of impossible to make like a reasonably complex game by yourself because it takes a lot of work. And that always resonated with me. The thought of taking time away from it makes me feel incredibly sad, but neglecting absolutely every aspect of my mental and physical health has caused me to develop into a danger to myself and others. And that is not something I want to be. I don't want to step away from development, but perhaps I should, at least long enough to decide the best way to proceed from here. Okay. An actual dev tried to help him out, but his spaghetti code was so bad. Yeah, he does terrible coding, right? But he didn't want them to change it. I think that was like the bigger problem. I think that was like the bigger issue, no? So you should just let somebody else take it. The project. Oh, what's this? Oh, got a little donation there, brother. Oh yeah, somebody gave me. Thank you so much for the 4-month sub. They said, "Have you consumed the cum chalice, Papa God?" I was like, "Thank you so much for that. Very important comment." You sent me. The project doesn't need to outright die, but it definitely should be paused until I've made significant progress towards evolving into a much healthier person. True. Yes. Over the years, Yandere Simulator and myself have been through countless controversies. I'm sorry for not properly addressing most of the controversies and for responding to some of those controversies in ways that only made things worse. There are still a lot of things I want to address in a proper manner one day, but now is not the time. Okay. Why is it not playing these alerts? Like, what's happening here? Why is this not working? I'll read them in a bit. I'd like to thank the animators, artists, composers, modelers, voice actors.
Signed 12 super chatted
$4.99.
I've played the game, it's buggier than all hell, and after spending 9 years on it I can confirm it's horrible. Frame drops and crashes on my i9 3050T.
You fucking weirdo playing that game. I'm just busting chops. Interesting.
Crow super chatted $6.09. Yeah, and Dev just kept adding stuff without polishing it and bloating the game to the point where nothing worked. Love you, Fat Gump.
Interesting. And YouTubers who helped to make the Yandere Simulator into what it is today. Even if we won't continue on this journey together, I'll always remain thankful to you for the assistance that you once granted me. I've received a lot of messages since the last blog post, many of which were harsh, rightfully so, but there were also a lot of messages equivalent to, I want to see you improve your mental health and finish the game. I've been following the project for 8 years, and I don't want to see it end like this. Okay. I think he's like 30-something. He started this when he was in his mid-20s. That's just weird, dude. I don't know. I feel like there's so many fans of this that were probably like in their teens when they first started following the project, and now it's 8 years later and they're in their mid-20s, but they still like the project, even though if they started liking it at 24, if they engaged with it at 24 for the first time, they wouldn't have been cool with it. But since it was something from their past, they're like, yeah, this is all right. You know, that's my thing. Yandere Simulator's audience has shrunken over the years, but despite everything, there are still a lot of people in this world who love Yandere. Am I saying it right? Yandere Simulator. They love the characters, the setting, and the story. They also enjoy speculating about what will happen towards the end of the game, what occurred in the unrevealed parts of the backstory, and what plot twists might be waiting in the lore. They want to learn how the ashy condition began, what secrets the Psycho family is hiding, and what is underneath the cherry tree. I do not give a fuck. If you're curious about those things, you are a fucking weirdo. Okay. I don't want to let them down. I owe it to them. For the giving me 9 years of their attention, I owe them answers. I owe them satisfaction, and I owe them closure. This is such like a annoying post. This is just like a woe is me post. Like, shut the fuck up. It's Yandere. I think it's whatever. I don't care. I'm just gonna say it Yandere. I don't care. I'm saying it wrong. Why do so many of you know how to say that? Whatever. A little sus. My audience is a little suspicious. My audience is a little suspicious here. Why do you know that? How do you know this?
Two Japanese words, yanderu meaning to be sick, and dere, which is defined as strongly and deeply exhausted. For reference in Japanese, this is said as yandere. In English, however, it is normally pronounced as yandere.
I'm going to keep saying it wrong. I don't want to cancel the game. I want to keep developing it, but I don't think I can do that if I keep being a mistake machine. I need to find a much better work-life balance because the current balance of 100 to 0 has led me to nothing but a severely damaged psyche and a behavior that is as destructive to others as it is to myself. Incredible stuff. I can't guarantee when will be the next time that I'll write a blog post. I'm not even sure what the next blog post will be about. A big announcement, a bug-fixing build, or something completely different. It's hard to tell what the future is going to hold, but I just want to let you know that I probably won't be posting as frequently as I previously was, or updating the game as frequently as I previously was. Either. Okay. All of the steps that I need to take to become a better person involve spending less time in the chair and more time outdoors. During my time away, I'll be spending a lot of time thinking about how I should proceed from this point forward. I'll be considering all possible options, even the uncomfortable ones, such as reducing the scope of the game to make it into a project that will be much easier to finish with limited resources, and the absolute last resort of handing off development to someone else. For what it's worth, I apologize for everything, and I thank you for following the development of Yandere Simulator. Okay. Cool. Get a good night's sleep. This must be stressful. It's probably the best, seriously. Okay. Cool. Good for you guys. Mental health is really I mean, you can delete this comment or react to it. It makes you feel better. A little fan of yours of the game. Blah, blah, blah. We're all human. We make mistakes. Okay. Listen, cool. Hopefully he gets his stuff together and finishes this incredibly cool looking game.